Hong is 0.4 seconds off the top for the time being. Okay, wow. I think a few of these times were set on super soft, so honestly, that's quite competitive, I would say. Alright everyone, hello and welcome back to another episode on Motorsport Manager with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to the main menu and the management screen. In the last episode, we had a rather eventful race, which was a big back and forth, I would say, of places, and I did make some smaller tactical mistakes, and we very barely actually scratched by making the 10th spot, and respectively our sponsorship objective for the time being for the first ever time this season. So it is going quite interesting for us. I can feel the improvement coming, and I hope you can feel it too. We're really not quite there where we want to be yet, because I would love to be able to reliably make that sponsorship objective to keep more money flowing in, because if we can keep that going over the course of the season, that's going to allow for quite a bit more funding to reinvest into the headquarters, into the car, and that would of course be absolutely awesome if we can make that work even better. But for the time being, you know, we're actually going somewhere, and I'm very much feeling the change. Hopefully, with a lot of preparation, we can maybe aim for finally making the sponsorship objective in the next race. Now, it's been very close a few times now, and I feel like it's become ever closer, so that should hopefully be doable. But just quickly, before we start then, if you're new around this channel and you do happen to enjoy these videos, please make sure to that subscribe button right down below. We've got a crazy ambitious goal going currently of getting 1k subscribers by the end of the year, so every single one will help out a ton. And of course, if you enjoy the video, also make sure to leave a like. That helps a ton with the algorithm. That said though, let's get going and let's see where we are currently standing. We have got this new engine done now, which basically just got done straight after the last Grand Prix, and we will have to fit that. So let's go into parts fitment. I think the engine, as you can see, is actually rather substantial. Not the most important thing. The acceleration is of more importance, but the engine is quite substantial overall. The thing that I'm kind of a bit worried about is if we can actually get both the gearbox and the engine to the reliability levels we need by the next race. I hope that we will be able to. We will fit things like this for the time being, and then we'll see if we can make that work. Now, this engine in theory actually currently has less performance than the other one, so we also need to push it more for performance, which is going to be also a point, but hopefully we can make this work. We'll have to see about that. In terms of parts design though, right, we shouldn't be able to go any further with the engine currently because we're still waiting for the improvements on our headquarters, which, as you can see down there, is actually still going to take quite a while. 15 weeks. Let's see when that actually finishes up. I do think that that has to be quite a bit. I hope that we can at least take advantage of it this season still. I mean, can we maybe see that in the race calendar somewhere? No, I mean 15 weeks. We're like in the middle of the... So, I think it should be like around here-ish. Or maybe there-ish. So like, it's going to only come into effect towards the very end of the season, unfortunately, we'll have to say. I would love to actually be constructing more things, but the thing is we've got 13 million bucks. We've got a loss of 1.1 million a race currently, and while there is certainly more sponsorships and stuff coming in, I mean, we've got like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 races remaining, which means that we've got like a spare 3 or 4 million to spend currently, and then we of course also want something to develop the new season car whenever we come to that. So I don't feel like I really want to go past what I've spent on the HQ currently. I mean, if we look at the buildings, you can see, I mean, we would have the money for a few things potentially to build, but I mean, the important things like a telemetry center maybe would still be somewhat doable, but it's still very expensive, and well, I mean, the factory upgrade would be nice, most certainly, but we're not going to go for that for the time being. And then, I mean, the racetrack's still under construction. I would love to kind of look at getting a telemetry center eventually. I think that's kind of the next objective, to be honest. I mean, there is also the brakes R&D, which is something to keep in mind, and of course we could go and upgrade the design center. But I think parts design speed is very sufficient currently, and while I certainly would love to have like a handling development center or a wind tunnel or a simulator, I guess the brakes are indeed fast. No. Well, these two that we currently have are already a decent start. We've got to get to building them first anyway. So, you know, we've got some things to take care of, most certainly, and maybe we can at least, through additional sponsorship deals over the time when some of these free up, like that one right there, for example, hopefully we can just get some more upfront payments coming in. That kind of buffs up the cash a bit more, and maybe we'll have enough in the back of our hands. But, you know, we do also want to design parts, of course, and that's something that we'll have to take care of. Now, the question is kind of what sort of parts we want to design, because for Tundela, there's not going to be anything else that we can design. You know, if we look here, we've got kind of the max that we can do, both in terms of engine and gearbox. That's all maxed. We've not done anything yet in terms of suspension and brakes, so that's going to be either or between those two. In the Ardennes, it's still top speed and acceleration, so we're going to be very nicely prepped for that, to be honest, which is great news. Out here, well, we need both. So, what do we want to start with is the question. I feel, okay, we've got medium speed corners here as well. So that's kind of the thing we want to make sure to have, like, perfected springs by then, definitely. And the brake, okay, I think we're going to start with the springs, and then we're going to go to the brakes, basically. But top speed out here also being important, and here, so we should hopefully at least get something out of that engine, because top speed is important for a lot of races in this race calendar, which is at least a good thing. But yeah, so let's get to development then. We're going to go for suspension. Brakes is going to be the last thing this season that we take care of. We will not go for a risk level. Oh, what is that? That sucks. That's some really bad development options, to be honest. A lower red zone. I would love this, but I don't want to have a risk level and get, like, penalties and stuff. So, I mean, we do have to develop one. I'm just not really keen on it. I mean, the reliability, honestly, we can boost the reliability ourselves. That's not much of an issue. We can just lower the red zone, I guess. You know, get some more reliability out of it. Why not? And then out here, we can get medium speed corners plus 30. So, that's something, at least, I guess. Not going to be getting the craziest stuff out of our suspension, though, for this season, I'll have to say. Going to get that going. That is going to be done 9 days, 22 hours. So that's actually going to be very fast. We'll even have that ready for the next race, which is quite cool. That is, honestly, given that we get it going in terms of condition, which I don't really think too much is going to happen. We'll see about that. Now, this guy out here, in terms of our pit crew, is absolutely crazily exhausted. We don't really have a replacement for him. We would need someone that can do tires and refuel. And we have someone that can do tires and refuel. Let's hire that guy. Also going to be a bit of an expense, but we do need to stock up on our pit crew again here, because, well, as you can see, some of these contracts are getting shorter. We had a few expire that we didn't know were going to expire. I should honestly probably renew the contract on the better ones that I have. Like this one right here, we do not want to lose him. Going to renew that contract. This is a good front jack, rear jack guy, so we're going to renew that contract. I don't think it costs me anything to renew them, so that's at least something. That's a good, yeah, fixing, blah, everything, renew the contract. That is okay. Not quite sure about that one yet, I'll have to say. We'll swap this one in one way or another with the new one we just hired, so we'll have that covered. We've got this guy, which still has a contract for 5 races. That's fine, that's fine. That's 4, and this one we already took care of, right? Yes. Cool, so that's all. The pit crew also sorted now. Got a guy here replaced that was super exhausted, so that's something. These two, I guess we can keep in the action for a bit longer if we want to. I mean, you could also just get them to recover. We do have one here that's already full in energy. I don't think I've got a second person that could take over. I mean, I technically do, but it's going to be kind of a bit of a loss in terms of speed, and he's also not fully recovered yet, so we're going to leave him to recover, I think, and we're going to move on like that. Now, with that out of the way, let's go and get started and approach where we actually have the part improvement. I think I got some engine cooling system issue. Found a leak, and Andre Gomez's engine cooling system. The part reliability will be out of the window if we can fix it. Oh boy, 50 reliability of 500 grand. I'm going to have to choose the 500 grand, unfortunately, because I've got a lot of other parts that need to get ready for the race. That is absolutely annoying. Very, very unfortunate that. I think the cart... No, the cart. The cart, yeah, sure. The car. It's not quite fixed yet, so we're going to have to wait for that. In terms of sponsor slots, we do have 2 offers thus far. Only 1-star sponsors. What's that? That's unacceptable. We've got a sponsor appeal level of 3. I would like to get some 3-star sponsors as well, please, game. Okay, let's get this fast forwarded to when the car repair is actually finished so we can prioritize things. So, what we need is going to be that gearbox reliability most certainly, and the reliability on the engine. That's 5 days after the race, but that's for 100%. We only really need like 75 to 80%, to be honest. And then, I mean, the gearbox is inherently already going to be better without any improvement. The engine is not, so we're going to have to focus on improving the engine performance as much as we can once we get to the reliability points that we want. That is that. Let's move on a bit and actually fast forward through time. Suspension is going to be finished soon there, which is good news. That is going to take a while still. We do have a new sponsorship offer, which is a 2-star, which is beautiful. No upfront payment, though. 11th or above. Oh, so this is interesting, because this is actually now the sponsorship objective, which is our lowest ranking one. And 11th or above, I feel, is like something that we can honestly achieve. You could go 16th or above and always have 75 grand. The question is, how reliably can we hit it? Because we do have that option too, with 14th or above, which we can, I think, hit all of the time. But as long as we manage to hit this every second race, this is basically the same sort of bonus. I think we're going to shoot high here and try that. And hopefully it's going to work out for us. Let's see about that one, I suppose. Fingers crossed. If it does work out for us, that's awesome. Because, I mean, like, 300k every race would be awesome to have. It's going to be a hard one to hit, though. So, I'm not sure about every race, but we're going to do our best, most certainly. That said, there is a race today. So, let's go and let that run real quick. Beautiful. We will probably just continue until the suspension is designed. What kind of mail is that? Scouting report. I've got a free slot. May as well use it, I guess. Like, that's honestly, I have to say, one of the things that I'm absolutely super not concerned about at all is, like, the scouting, what's it called? The scouting office or whatever that you can build for a lot of money, honestly. That just unlocks more scouting slots. Really not interested in that one, to be honest. I mean, I've already scouted so many drivers, and I'm really not interested in hiring anyone new currently. Like, I think it's totally fine for the time being. Interesting. Spec gearboxes. 250 grand to vote for spec gearboxes. I think what spec gearboxes basically means is that they are kind of pre-made. So it's like the wings, like where you don't have to invest anything, and it's just like everyone has the same thing. I'm not sure if I want that, to be honest, because I think it's always an interesting point developing your own things. Then again, we're kind of a back market team, so to be honest, it feels like we could somewhat really benefit from it ourselves, because we don't really have that much money to invest in R&D, and we could push that money into other things like the HQ instead in the future. So, hard question to answer, to be honest. I mean, it feels like it would be in favor of us, and I would get money. Which is kind of nice. It would equalize the playing field in 1 point for us. I think we're going to say yes to that. We're going to say yes to that. We're going to have to vote for it, but it feels like it's a good thing for us, because we can save money. It equalizes the playing field a bit more for us, so we get the chance to catch up to the other people, or the other teams a bit more, hopefully. And, yeah, I think this can only really benefit us, and the fact that we're getting money for that even is absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so let's head on. Go through the suspension design. There we go. Suspension build is finished. We will... I'm not sure we'll be able to fit that on there, to be honest, in time. Which is fine, you know. If we have it at least. Yeah, I mean... not really the highest priority. We'll go and design another piece of suspension already, though, because we do want something that actually has a bonus to speed and medium speed corners. So we're going to do that. That is also going to be done before the race, which is crazy. Really shelling out a lot of money on new parts in very quick succession here, to be honest. Just literally the brakes left after that, and then we've got that done, and it feels like even the brakes we should probably get ready for the next race. The question is if we get the upgrades for the part ready for the next race. I think if we focus on only the blue parts, maybe that should be doable. We'll have to see about that. But in terms of parts improvement then, that's going to take a bit more. We're going to go through a few more days and just kind of check back. Like here-ish, 70%, still got a bit to go. 79% for the engine feels very good. We had like 78 on the other one, so that's good, I would say. We are then going to go and schedule the engine for performance improvement. We're going to allocate all the stuff, though, to the gearbox. And then once we remove it, it just auto jumps over, basically. So, yeah, let's do that. Report an upcoming race. 32 lap race, 10% chance of rain. Okay, that's good. Excellent acceleration. Firebird of the best gearbox. Tire compounds. Alright. Well, we've got the scouting facility. No, I don't need it. That's what I say. I don't need that. I'm sorry. I don't need it. Okay, so that's good. 82%, very sufficient, I would say. We're going to move on with the engine development then, which is 12 days after the race for the max performance. But anyways, I hope we can at least push it past 100 points there. So it does work better than the old one. We certainly had a bit of an upgrade going here on the gearbox, so that's beautiful. And other than that, I mean, the suspension is not going to be put in time, most certainly. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, quite happy with how things are going. So let's continue. Suspension design is going to be finished here. How's our engine performance looking? 87. Wasn't that like multiple days passing? Didn't we start at like 88? How are we? I'm confused. Didn't we start at 88? I'm really not sure about that one. Financial management. I'm gonna watch it, no worries, mate. I know that we're spending a lot right now, and honestly, at some point, we're just not gonna have to develop any more parts, because, well, we don't have the facilities to go any further, so, yeah. Still at 87. What's going on here? Kind of confused about that one, to be honest. We did get the suspension part going, so that's awesome, but, well, it's still not other reliability we need. Gonna start the brakes, then. Gonna just max possible deceleration, basically, and then that one's gonna be the next one. Yep, cool. Get that going. Done. Thank you. And, well, I would really like to upgrade the factory another time, I have to say. You know, improving the parts is still the point where we're lacking. The part development speed is totally fine. Like, 100% fine, but the actual improvement speed of parts would be nice if we could push that. That said, literally just got the engine 1 point or 2 points, respectively, whichever one you want to believe. But we barely got it to perform better than the other engine, which is great. And the reliability is 1 percentage point better too. So that's overall, I would say, quite nice. Andre has gotten a bit of a more reliable and definitely a good bit more of a performant engine too, which is awesome. And yeah, I mean, that's that. That's where the car is kind of standing at now for this race. You can see we're still so far behind in terms of top speed. That's quite insane, I have to say. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, we're going to push the car engine even more, 140 points. Then let's see where we stand. Maybe we at least get into 9th spot or something with that. And then hopefully the new test track's going to help whenever that gets finished. So yeah, let's see about that. would still love to build more things, but, well, honestly, quite unfortunately, we do not have the funds for that currently. Hopefully the new sponsor stuff helps, and we can actually hit that a few times. Fingers crossed right there. But okay, so that said then, we are pretty much done on all fronts in terms of what we wanted to do. Let's continue on to the travel to Tondela. And apparently there was a tad bit of time in between that. Did we push it further? We did. Nice. Few more crucial points on the car there. Why not? Like, the fact that we're that far behind is quite crazy, though. That is quite crazy. I mean, the fact that we're so far up with medium speed corners is also quite interesting, I'll have to say. Because, to be fair, you know, we haven't done any proper amounts of development on that. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, moving on to the race then. We'll, of course, go for 11th or above. In terms of part fitting, we're pretty much done, I would say. Let's go to the race and let's see what the practice has to offer for us, I guess. Hopefully it will be going somewhat fine for us in terms of the practice statistics, and then we'll see just how good or bad it is going to go. But okay, so Tondela, you know, I think we all know it very well. German flag there, absolutely beautiful. Wondering if that's that way because I'm German, or if the game kind of just always has a German flag waving there. You know, if you were British, would that be a British flag that you saw there in the loading screen? Who knows? Anyways, not too important. Those two guys are going to drive, of course, and I'm thinking you always needed... I wish you could actually see the old car setups, to be honest, from previous races on this track. That would be beautiful. But I'm thinking you always wanted a bit more downforce on this track, to be honest. I think acceleration is not in too bad of a spot. In terms of the steering, it's a lot of slow speed corners, right? So with a lot of slow speed corners, you would sort of wanted a bit more oversteery the car than understeery. So we're not going to make the suspension too hard. Going to make the top speed a bit more, like, make it a bit more top speed focused. And then we're going to see with this. I'm just going to go with a very basic setup for now. Then we're kind of going to adjust as we go. We're going to go super softs, I think. Kind of interesting that we've got both of these displayed up here. But yeah, we're going to go super softs, and that is going to be that. So that tells you a bit more about what levels of downforce are expected to be put on the car here. Holy bejesus, he wants a lot. That is insane. 2 degrees more angle on both wings just barely gets me into the comfort zone. So I guess we're giving him 2.5 degrees more angle. Wow. Okay. Tad bit harder on the suspension. And then that. I think we can honestly kind of change Andre's car a bit based on that. Because honestly, I mean, he's not going to be too far off with the level of downforce he wants. So we're going to do something like that. 16.5, 26.5. Let's see how that works out for him. And yeah, I mean, other than that, we're going to keep it that way. Going to continue, take the practice, and let's see just how well they're going to be doing on the first part of the session. Then, other than that, I mean, we're just going to zoom right through. Send them out. Go to max strategies. And let's go. I'm kind of interested to see how we're going to be doing in comparison to the rest of the field now, where we're going to be standing in the timing sheets. We're not going to go for the first time laps now, because of course the track grip increases over time. So now we're really just going to gather feedback, optimize the car for our drivers, and then once we're in the optimal setup and the grip level is a bit higher, that is where we are going to go for the timed laps, basically. So we're going to bring them in right now. That should be enough for the feedback, of course, as usual. Let's get them right through. Loving the handling. That's good to hear, most certainly. Downforce, poor. I guess he wants more, does he? Or does he want less? It feels as though you may want more. I'm not sure. We're going to give him another degree and see if that makes it worse or better. Gonna have to play around with the suspension a bit here, just to see what he wants. And well, we're gonna leave the speed balance like that and see what it changes, I guess. 3 laps, new set of tires, send out, then Hong. What do you wish for, good sir? I think he wants even more of an angle. That is insane. The amount of downforce they want on this track is absolutely crazy. Other than that, everything is on great. So, quite honestly, I think we can leave it there and just improve the downforce for him. So, yeah. Pretty much in the middle with understeer and oversteer. Bit more acceleration than top speed seems to be the way to go. Okay, let's get going on that. They're going to be sent out in just a second when we've actually got all the adjustments made. Cool. Quickly get them on the top strategy so they go around the track as fast as they can. And off we go. That's going to give us a race trim and super soft tyres to level 1. Working on level 2 now, absolutely beautiful. And we've got a setup level unlock, which is also absolutely beautiful. Now they're going to have to go through one lap, of course, to be able to give us feedback, but we're going to bring them in subsequently. Just like that. And in comes Hong. Just overtook Commerce casually. Beautiful. Okay, so downforce is excellent for Hong. That is beautiful. That's great to hear. We're going to go and give him new tyres then, and we're just literally going to put him on enough fuel for 6 laps. Actually, I mean, I kind of want the representative time. I guess we're going to put him on 3 laps. Send him out like that. We can always refuel him afterwards. I want to have an actual idea of what times we're working with. Gomez, we seem to have somewhat improved, I hope. Let's see. Handling is great, which is good news. We did improve on the speed balance, and we did improve... Okay, so we're going to give him another ½ degree of wing angle, which should fix the downforce even more. The speed balance is also going the right way. We're probably going to go like that. Adjust the handling a tad bit to keep it on there, and see how he likes that. I think we're going the right way with that, to be honest. Send him out like that. And, I mean, honestly, we've been going quite fast, so potentially, worst case... we can actually get a last stint in with Gomez. Especially given that we don't really care too much about his time. We more care about getting an indication of what Hong's time is going to be. But yeah, so let's just fast forward until we're on the start-finish line. And then we're going to find out just how good or bad we are going to be doing. Not liking that car in front of him. That's going to slow him down a bit, isn't it? Oh, please go away. Oh yes, perfect overtake. Thank you, Hong. So, that is going to be the timed lap then. Very, very interested in how that one's going to go now. I think for Gomez, we're just going to bring him in this lap, basically. So we can make sure his setup is on point. Hong is 0.4 seconds off the top for the time being. Okay, wow. I think a few of these times we're set on super soft, so honestly, that's quite competitive, I would say. I like it. Quite happy with that. Okay, let's go and... okay, Gomez is perfect. Cool, we're just going to send him right back out, I guess. Can honestly just use the same tyres. Boom, go. We will put him on the max strategy, burn through the tyres a bit more, gain the knowledge to get to level 3, and that is going to be that. We could have honestly actually given him different tyres to actually get some soft tyre knowledge, but honestly, I mean, whatever. Don't need it too badly, I guess. Aero's feeling great. That is good news, Hong. Do I want to pull him back in? He's got fuel for another 1.16 laps, so he should be able to make it around the track once more, I guess. So, you know, why not? He just improved. He just improved. We're in 4th spot right now in terms of timings. I mean, that's quite insane, to be honest. I don't think that's going to stay that way in the race, but... I mean, if we're in 4th spot, maybe we can at least stay above the 11th in the race, right? Let's see, I guess, how well we're going to be doing. I will have to bring Hong in now. I guess I've already... told him to come in, so that works. Or he's just coming in due to low fuel. Yeah, it's nice, it's awesome. I mean, we technically do have max knowledge on him, so we're honestly just gonna give him some softs, because why not? Get him some knowledge on that too. Other than that, interested to see what Gomez is gonna be at in terms of a time. We can most certainly take a quick look at that too in just a minute. There he comes across the start-finish line. 6th. I think that's solid. I think that's quite solid, to be honest. So, yeah. Happy. Overall, quite happy with the times my drivers has set. Now, I mean, the question is very much going to be where we're actually going to be in terms of times in the end, but I would argue that works quite well for now. Let's see. I don't want to get you guys' hopes up too much, because honestly, who knows what the race is going to look like in the very end. We've always kind of known that our practice performances have never really quite caught up to the race performances at the very end. But yeah, I mean, you can see there's actually, wow, that's a top 10. Okay, so a few of these times have been set on soft still, so you can see like at least 1, 2, 3, 4, like these are all going to be faster than us, so probably like an 8th place in terms of practices. I don't think that Marchetto is going to make us past us, so like 8th or 9th place in terms of times would be a realistic one, I think. And then let's see, I guess, how well we can actually make that work for ourselves in the race. Quite happy with that performance, I have to say. For today, though, I'm going to have to end it off right here, of course. Next time, we're going to go to the race then. And then, fingers crossed, I won't make any mistakes. And hopefully, we can, for the first time in a long while, also hit our sponsorship objective and get some nice 300k as a little bit of a bonus. But with that said then, for today, as I said, this is going to be it. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does help out a ton with the algorithm. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, of course, also make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below, as well as that bell icon right next to it, in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. All that out of the way, though, as usual, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next one very, very soon. Ciao.